There. So as I mentioned to all of you this morning, we photo op. As I mentioned this morning, we had our final speaker, Therese, who wasn't able to join us today. So we do have another speaker, and as I mentioned, she's also a new expert on the NAOM panel, JJ Flazine. Why can't I say that?
Phonetic.
Phonetic. Flazanes. It just flows. Flazanes. Okay. Anyway, she is our new health and wellness expert for the association.
Thank you.
Yes, very exciting, very exciting. JJ's credentials and accolades follow her name, and they appear for good reason. JJ is America's guilt-free trainer and the creator of world-class fitness programs and routines, such as the Foundations program for the New York Sports Club and Invisible Fitness. What sets JJ apart from other celebrity fitness counterparts lies in her anatomically centered routines, which protect overworked and aging joints from catastrophic failure. But none of us have that. As a leader in innovative exercise, JJ is certified by the National Academy of Sports Medicine and launched her professional career in 1996 as the Foundations Director for the New York Sports Club, where she designed curriculum and in-house certification for new and previously uncertified fitness trainers. And in June of 2009, JJ launched her most challenging and exciting program to date, the 6-week Beach Body program, in which candidates take on creating a new body and lifestyle for life by changing their physical and mental programming. And today she is going to be presenting Re-Energize Your Business Through Your Body. And just a personal quick note, I actually met JJ years ago, back in the early 2000s, and with my other company, What's Up for Kids, and she had a stroller strides franchise and participated in one of my kids' expos. And so when her name started circulating in my circles and we needed a new health and fitness coach, it was a perfect match. So I'm so excited to welcome you here today. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for coming last minute.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Hello. So let me ask you, how many of you would love to have a greater sense of fitness and health? Raise your hands. Excellent. Good. What we're going to be talking about today is re-energizing your business through your body, because at the end of the day, what's the one thing that's going to be constant, if you're rich or you're poor, if your business is working or if it's not? Your health, right? So it might seem like a stretch, but how many of you know or have experienced greater prosperity or greater clarity of thinking, planning, energy into your business, energy to your customers, to your family, through actually having an ongoing fitness and health routine? Anybody experience that? Okay. Now, what would happen if your health started to decline? What would happen to your business? It would fall apart? Is anyone experiencing this or has experienced this? My partner for the 6-week Beachbody program, Adlai O'Dunton, experienced this. This is one of the reasons why we're partners and that we have developed the program that we did. 3 years ago, she got sick. She got an autoimmune disorder, which had her lying flat on her back for 2 years. And she lost her voice for 6 months. When I saw her again at Agape, she came up to me and she's like signaled to me that I need your card. And I said, okay. I said, what happened to your voice? She said, I lost it. And I was thinking it was laryngitis, and then I come to find out she had lost it for 6 months. And so she actually wrote a book about being an adrenaline addict, because her body, she was a go, 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 go. How many of us multitask, right? Through being a mom, through being either a wife and a caregiver, having your own business, having employees, having a social life outside of any of this, right? And then all of a sudden, you go, 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 and there's no balance. And some of you will get sick, and some of us will experience some kind of the body checking in with you, and it'll say, hey, you need to slow down. And some of us will ignore that slow down signal until you hit the wall. And then you hit the wall, and then who knows what happens next. For some people, you're going to recover very quickly, and for others, like my partner, you're not going to recover. She's recovering, but it's taking a lot longer than if you just got a little cold or if you got a headache because you're thinking too much, right? Because those are little symptoms that are going to come into your life, and they're going to tell you to stop. This is your body trying to tell you something. Taking an Advil, taking an aspirin, getting some surgery is not going to fix the high adrenaline levels at which we as women, which we shouldn't be operating at anyway, because we're not designed to do that. How many of you know that science? Know that women who have more estrogen and not as much testosterone, because that's how we're built, are not supposed to work like men? How many of you know that? Okay. Biological reason. That doesn't mean we can't do it. Doesn't mean we're not smart enough to do it. Doesn't mean we can't multitask and be better than. It has nothing to do with that kind of mentality. It has to do with the fact that we're not built to run constantly without taking a break. There's that cycle. The feminine is flowy, right? You guys all dance with Alana. It's that flowiness that's what makes us women. And when we ignore that and act like a man and go straight on, boom, 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 and someone gets sick, you can't say, well, how'd that happen? Where'd I catch that from? Because I put myself in someone else's shoes and tried to be a man, and then my adrenals went down. So if we could pass out, do they have you have your handouts, great. Okay. So where I want to start with is sort of a little self-evaluation of where you are now. There's no, and when I talk about an evaluation or a judgment, I want you to know, yes, I'm America's guilt-free trainer. What does that mean? I don't know what your goals are. Your goals are your goals. There's no standard. How I'm different, besides wanting to teach women and to help women feel gorgeous and confident in a bathing suit without having to kill themselves in the gym or starve, is that whatever is important to you is what's important to you. And I think every other speaker probably covered this. Whatever success means to you, right? Whatever your vision is of that, that's yours. I'm not going to try to change it and tell you that you should be doing something that isn't comfortable or something you don't want. See, the last program, what I launched, and I get so excited about the 6-week Beachbody program, is because the other half is the mental part. How many of you have done a diet, had a trainer, gone to the gym and done a class, and never, ever, ever, ever dealt with the mental stuff that goes on in your head that either sabotages you or tells you, it's okay, you don't have to do it today? How many of you have done some kind of fitness program that does not deal with the mind? Most people. Let me know if there's one that you know of that's out there, because I don't. That's why Adelaide and I were a perfect fit, because I had been, for years, even though I'm the body expert, dealing with the coaching on what it is that you think about. Because what you think about is what's going to translate into what action steps you take, right? This is common sense knowledge about everything in life, from relationships to your business. So if you have this mental chatter, which we all do, going on in your head, and you try to do something that's so far from that, your willpower will make it happen. But eventually, if you do not change this, you will come back to because this is what's comfortable. So we're going to deal a little bit with that mental stuff right now. So when you fill out this form, this is going to be based on your own judgment of what you think your ultimate fitness level should be. So right now, fill out the first page if you haven't, and you're going to be basing this on where you are right now in your own mindset. And raise your hand if someone doesn't have one. And then look up at me when you're done. Just the first page. Just the first page. Okay. So, anyone have any thoughts about something that they wrote down? Thoughts meaning, I hadn't thought about that before, or I'm having to be honest. Yes? Excellent. That's good. You're welcome. Well, I brought some bones to demonstrate. Normally I carry a big black bag with a half disarticulated skeleton in it, but I didn't feel like walking across there with all of that. So I thought the most important joint that I usually talk about is the knee. Now, I'm not saying that the knee is the most important joint, but it's such a common joint that people complain about having problems with. And even this morning, I wasn't here. I would have liked to have come all day, but I had a client already scheduled, a coaching session of someone who doesn't have any knee problems, but a new recent client does, and I'll tell you the story because it's important for joint integrity. Prevention doesn't sell. I learned that early on. I was stubborn and thought, no, it does. Some people care. I'm going to attract those people. No, it doesn't sell. I actually named Invisible Fitness because it's the things you can't see that are more important than the things that you can. Right? You can have a good-looking exterior and have a really bad interior, and how many anorexics are completely miserable, right? But yet they're this big, and they're not healthy at all. So it really has nothing to do with how you look. You could look better and you can feel better where you are right now. But the joints were the main reason, because I understand the body mechanics, I understand the way things work, the physics of it, which I'll explain a little bit to you. I don't want to like glaze you over in the science, but it's very exciting to me. And so I tried to sell Invisible Fitness as, care about your joints, because what you do now is going to affect what happens later, because there's something called aging. What is aging? Aging is going to be losing hormones, which now we can replace. But regardless of the replacement of the hormones, you're going to lose cartilage. And can you replace that? You can. It's not really mainstream, and it isn't really popular yet, and I don't really know how effective long-term it is. But we have cartilage in between our joints. And the one thing you don't know about is when it's deteriorating. It's not going to tell you, hey, body, you're at 5%. It's only going to tell you when it's gone, because then your bones are going to hit each other. There's going to be some pinching of some nerves and some muscles, and it's going to hurt. And you're going to be like, what happened? Why did this happen? I hurt my knee. No, you just degenerated your cartilage over time through your activity, which is normal, but we can slow it down. And some exercises that you choose to do will speed it up. This is what I was trying to sell. It wasn't working. But we'll talk about joint integrity later. I can get you real nervous about your joints, and that's not what I want to do. I just want to put it into perspective, because I was the trainer who saw all the people with their injuries. And I was instructed by all of my teachers, hey, I have 11 injuries, don't do what I did. And I heard that, and I went, okay, I won't do what you did. I don't want to have any injuries. I have no pain, and I want to keep it that way. But keeping yourself pain-free takes action. And it takes responsibility. You can't just expect you will always be pain-free if you don't do anything about it, right? Just like business. You can't, yes, we can manifest things, but there is a bit of action and accountability in how we think and what we speak and in our energy, at least if nothing else. So there's always some kind of energy exchange. So thank you for the joint integrity. Anyone else sort of have a thought or opinion or something fun about this question? I want to know what things you shouldn't do for joints? A lot of my initial teachers were physical therapists who had realized their physical therapy school. Any physical therapists in the room before I say this? There are really some great physical therapists out there, but there are also, and they will acknowledge the ones that are really great at some of the things that some of them don't do. This was a physical therapist who realized he hurt himself 3 or 4 times in the same place and thought, what's wrong with my education? I learned all this. And then he went back and studied the body and realized they didn't teach him a lot about how to exercise. They taught him how to rehabilitate people who were in pain to having no pain, but it wasn't about how do I not get injured. And that to him was more important, and so that's what I had started to learn. And then some of the other people in the groups of the certifications of the National Academy of Sports Medicine and the Resistance Training Specialist Program, they were all ex-bodybuilders and athletes who had done what the other guy did. How many of you have gone into a gym or seen someone exercise and just copy them because you think, hey, they look good, they're doing that, I should do that too? How many of you have done that? Come on, admit it, anybody? Right, because you think, well, they look really good, I'm going to copy what they do. Well, we have genetics is the first thing, right? We have, because how many of you think that you could decide today to be a contortionist? Right, what about that? Well, people who are contortionists have long ligaments in between their joints so they can fold them on top of each other. You don't just get up one day and say, I think I'm going to be a contortionist, and I'm going to stretch myself out so much that I can bend myself in half in a suitcase. No. It's called structure. That happens to be the way that person was born, that they had the ability to do that. We could not do that. We could. We'd get injured and never be the same, and it would hurt. But we absolutely could do that. So I will talk a little bit about that, but today isn't really about what not to do. There's lots of what nots to do. And again, I have that whole bag of bones for a reason. Like the shoulder joint. I could have brought the whole hip joint, right? Because here's the hip. This is your femur. This is your thigh bone. And I would have liked to have brought you the half of the hip to show you that this ball and socket joint actually fits. But your shoulder joint, which is also a ball and socket joint, does not fit. The ball is about this big, and the space in which it sits in is probably like, I mean, I don't have a good example, but let's say it's this. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's almost, I mean, it's pretty bad. Like there's no hole in which your humerus sits. It sits on a very almost flat bone. The only reason it sits like this, there's nothing holding it like this. The only reason that your shoulder joint does not fall out is because of muscle. So when you're moving your shoulder joints, there's impingement opportunities all the time. There's lots of exercise. So I'll give you a round. Don't do walking lunges. Don't do upright rows. Don't do behind the neck pull downs. There's a few of them that will impinge your shoulder. So there's 3. And walking lunges I can show you later, but that's not what today's about. Those are the how. We're going to talk about the what a little bit, and we're going to talk about how a little bit. So before I move on we're going to go through 3 things today. And I'm going to write them down in a second. Anyone have any other things they want to share about this little quiz that might have stimulated your mind for a second or pinged you in something you either need to do, want to do, have done, will do? Okay. Yes? Absolutely. Depends on what the pain's being caused by. Yeah. Absolutely, yes, you can rehabilitate. But I'll have to say that how I handle pain with clients is multifold, right? We will look at structurally, because structure is what I can deal with and we all can deal with because we all have a structure. You all have bones, you all have joints, you all have muscles, right? Besides that, there's a mental component and there's an emotional component. So those 2 things also need to be looked at in any injury and in any pain. I sprained my ankle moving 2 years ago, and I'm like to take responsibility for everything that happens to me, everything that I manifest, right? So you could say, well, you slipped. I don't slip. I took a suitcase. I was mad. I was angry because my friends didn't want to help me move, and I didn't want to ask them outright. I wanted to let them off the hook, but I really wanted someone to offer. You know how that goes, women? You don't want to say, can you please help me, and put the pressure on them and have them say, okay, I'll help you. I was like, well, you can help. If anyone wants to help me. So no one wanted to help, surprise, surprise, all my wonderful friends that I love. And so I was angry with them. And my husband, who's now my husband and was my boyfriend, not fiance quite at the time, is the kind of guy that just wants to get it done. He's powering through it, he's lifting these boxes, and he's not happy about it. Even though he knows we're moving, it's not like it's a good experience, but he's powering through this. And I'm like, honey, wait, can you just let's just have, I love it. I love calorie burning opportunities. I love muscle building opportunities. It was fine, but he was just powering through it like this. And I thought, okay, can we just have fun? Like, hey, let's smile. Like, I'm not, I have to lift heavy stuff too. And so I'm mad because my husband's not being very fun right now moving, and I have nobody else helping me. So I grab a suitcase off of the back with 2 hands, and we didn't have that ramp on the truck down yet, so I stepped off, and I stepped on the side, and I fell. Now, subconsciously, I think I created that, right? Because it made me have to ask for help the next day, because I now have a sprained ankle. Now, I, of course, would never, ever, ever consciously try to hurt myself. My body is, I protect it. I do all these things to keep it really healthy. But, so I would look at the mental component as well as the emotional component. Like, I know that I sprained my ankle because I was mad, and because I also would not have asked for help otherwise. I would have powered through the next day just as angry at everybody as I was, and never would have asked for help. And I did ask for help that night. Now, I'm all better, and I was running on it in a week because I did all the things necessary to make that happen. But I ripped it pretty well. I ripped it pretty good. So yes, we can help with your back, but I also always want to change your mind. And I always want to change how you feel. Because if you don't feel good, if you don't feel motivated, if you don't feel inspired, you're not going to do anything, right? Okay. Any other questions before I continue? Did you get a sheet? Is there another sheet? Okay. All right, so the 3 things we're going to go over today, and part of it, I'm going to let you do the first part yourself, is going to be having a clear vision. And this is with anything, right? This is with your business. This is with your relationships. Have a clear vision. Now, this isn't written on here, so if you want to take notes, flip over the first page. We are going to use the back of another page for how to make your plan. So when I talk about what goals you'd like to have, that's part of figuring out what your vision is. Because just like your business, just like your relationships, you need to know where you want to go. Because for some people, they don't want to work 40 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't want to work out. I don't want to work out every day. I don't want to work out every day. I don't work out every day. Okay, so I'll just say that out loud. Now, there are some trainers and some people, and this is how I'm different. I like balanced living. I'm the wine, cheese, and chocolate trainer. I already wrote the book. The wine, cheese, and chocolate trainer. Now, I don't eat gluten. I don't have fake sugars. There's lots of things I don't eat. But the point is about having balance, because your life should be fun, right? And getting to your goal and enjoying your body and your health should be fun, in my opinion. I'm not the boot camp person. No boot camps. No, no, no. No, we do. I mean, I understand needing to have, drive and you wanted to get it done. But I'm also thinking that most of you are pretty intelligent. I don't need to yell at you. Right? I don't need to yell at you to make you do it. I can just sort of educate you and inspire you to do it. That's who I am. So that's what I do. Some people need different things, but I'm just letting you know so that you know what perspective I'm coming from. All right, so having the vision. So for me, my vision is to be able to get in, and I live it, so I do maybe 3 workouts a week. I get in some resistance, and I get in some cardio, and I do it with a friend at least twice a week, and the other days for me. And so basically I'm looking at maybe 3 to 4 hours of workout a week, but I do it in chunks of an hour, 2 hours, or an hour and a half, or an hour and 15 minutes, because I don't want to do it every day. I don't have time every day. I can set it in my schedule better. Now, some people have a block of time, don't have an hour. As a mom, you probably don't have that much time. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe it's easier for you to do 15 minutes every day or 30 minutes every day. So there's no shoulds. You don't have to do anything. So what would you like to do? What would be good for you? So what's your vision? Of your schedule, of your body, of your health, of your food, of how you live, in terms of, I'm gluten-free. I've been gluten-free since July of last year. I went gluten-free because my wedding was August of last year. And I thought, let me try it. I know it wasn't a fad thing. Well, I lost 4 pounds in 10 days. But those 4 pounds were all water, which led me to believe, oh, ding, 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 I have a gluten sensitivity. It's not severe, but it's severe enough that why would I want to hold on to an extra 4 pounds if I don't have to? And I've made that choice to then be gluten-free for the rest of my life. I mean, if I eat some, I usually take a digestive enzyme to help with it. But it's a choice that I've made. And is it sometimes inconvenient? Yes. Is that okay with me? Yes. Because I get to keep my wine, my cheese, and my chocolate. So I don't really care about gluten. There's nothing good about gluten that I need. So this is, again, about your choice, right? You're looking at how can I have what I want and still get results? Because let me tell you, you can. It's all about, at the end of the day, it's all going to be a numbers game. It's going to be numbers of calories in, calories out, metabolism, if your adrenals. It's all a numbers game with playing with these things called balance. And if you are unhappy doing any of this, then you won't do it. So really get happy about what you would like your plan to be. So make some notes right now, just a few. You don't have to make about some things that you like. Maybe you've experienced some programs before that were hard and they got you results, but what didn't you like about it? You didn't like that it was 6 o'clock in the morning every day. You didn't like that it was an hour long each time. You didn't like that you were so sore you couldn't move the next day. You didn't like that you were so restricted with your food that you felt like you were in prison. Whatever it is, write it down. And then what would you like from it? What would you like your life to be around your food, exercise, and fitness? Just write 1 or 2 little things. And then look up at me when you're done. Anybody want to share? You don't have to. Yes? You like the 4-minute-a-day plan? Okay. Mm-hmm. Have you tried it? Okay. Can you do it? Yeah. We're going to make a plan, and I will put your 4-minute plan in there, and I will show you. Okay? I'll show you the equation, and you can plug what you want in there to see what you're going to have to do on the rest of it to make it work. And then you get to decide if you want it to work or not, right? Because you can do it. I know people doing it. Thank you. Bring that up when we go back to the fit principle. Anyone else want to share? Yes.
Is that a half a calorie?
Yeah, jump one more time. No kidding.
I don't like to have to get all sweaty, so then I have to go back in and get redressed again and like all that. I don't want to have to stop and go to the gym and get all sweaty and then have to come home and wash my hair and that whole deal.
Okay. So you would do something if it was not sweating, if you didn't get sweaty? Or is it that you don't want to have to go to the gym and then change again?
It's the changing and getting dressed and all that again.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be time. Carrie?
I want to eat real food. I don't want to keep a diary. And I want it to be quick and easy.
Okay. Anyone else?
I want sugar.
I want sugar.
I want to be able to. I eat chocolate every day.
So if you're missing a heart, it's because I ate it.
Okay.
So, okay.
And I want something that I could do at home. I used to go to a gym, but now with my lifestyle, it works better if I can do it at home in the morning.
Yep, great, perfect. I'm with you. Think one more. Physics is physics. Movement is movement. Resistance is resistance. You can do it anywhere. You don't have to go to a gym. You can.
I want to see more results. Like I exercise almost on a daily basis. I run, and everything else is great, but around the midsection, never see any difference.
Okay, great. Excellent, thank you. Actually, that just led me to, can I share something great that happened yesterday to me? It's real quick, that I'll be a published author in a year. There's a book series called The Knack. It's like the series, like the dummy series and the idiot series, computers for idiots or dummies or whatever. And an agent was looking for someone to write a book about abs, which I was never given respond to this. I thought, I don't want to write a book about abs. It's so boring. But I am now. I have been chosen to be because it was really easy. The book needs to be done by end of January. It'll be on the shelves by next fall. So, and I don't do anything except write the book. They do all the promotion, they do all the publicity, they do everything else. So, anyway, so that made me think of when you're like around the middle. I'm like, oh, I have to write that book, yes. But I just found out yesterday, so I wanted to celebrate because I hadn't celebrated yet. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now having a little bit more of the clear vision of what you would like, I want you to go to the next page of this and fill out the next page, which is goal setting. And I just want you to write in, don't do the 30, 60, 90 yet. Just go to body and health. Oh, sorry. Go to the body and health. Pick one major body goal and one major health goal. Some of them will be the same, and some of them to you might just blend in, but some people have an outside and an inside goal. So I just put that. But if you just have one, like your the most pressing thing, write that down. All right, so we'll partner amongst the tables, but I would like for you to do two things. You're going to pick a partner, and if there's three of you, then you can partner with each other. And you're going to pick one of those two goals, the most important one to you, the most important thing that you really, 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 really want. And you're going to tell them how much you want it and why you want it. And then your partner is going to ask you, what excuse have you been using to not get it? And then you're going to write that down. Okay, ready? You have a minute with each person. So go ahead and start. Pick your partner. Pick your one major goal, and then switch. Okay, make sure you've switched if you haven't already, so the other person gets to do it. Share me. The knee.
Yeah, that's something I noticed recently, strength. Just general strength.
Carpal tunnel. Oh. Okay, let's finish up. Wow, you guys are good. Everyone went, whew. Anyone want to share? Kathy, I can walk around. I'll take the mic. I don't mind the calorie burning opportunity. Anyone want to share? Anyone get caught? No, really? How are you?
Triple X.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
You too. I'm going to back up so everyone can see you.
Okay, so my goal is to fit back into my size 6 wardrobe, where literally I stand in my closet and I look at all those clothes that I cannot wear, and all I have is like 1 or 2 pairs of pants I can wear anymore. So my goal is to get back into them, and the excuse I'm using is I'm too tired and I'm too busy.
Thank you. I'm not saying anything. There's no comments. I'm just listening. Anyone else?
Well, my goals for both my body and my health are have enough energy because I have adrenal burnout. And the excuse I use is that I need to work hard to make more money.
Okay.
I have arthritis in my knees, and I used to go to Curves all the time by my house, and they closed, and now I won't go work out anymore. And my knees hurt.
Thank you.
So I recently lost 8 pounds, and then my clothes didn't fit, so I'm going to have a big yard sale. But I want to lose another 8 pounds so that I can sell everything and then justify shopping again. So that's one of my goals, and it was very motivating. I'm like, oh, they don't fit. I got to get rid of them. And then the other goal is just to, if I'm going to spend time with friends, I'm going to get off the phone and get going on a walk. So just to tell everyone, you want to talk to me, you have to walk with me and do that, so that to make more time for both things. That's my goal, and increase my serotonin levels so I'm not such a bitch.
Oh, I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure that's... So that's because maybe there wasn't enough movement, and now there's more movement.
My goal is to exercise at least 20 or 30 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. Yeah, that's my goal. And the other thing is to really tone up my legs, because they are, they used to be hot, and now they're not so hot. I mean, they're thin and stuff because I've lost a lot of weight, but they're just not toned the way I want them to be.
They move a little more than
and
you
there's
like
a little bit of that, that stuff that we get on our thighs.
Cellulite,
Yeah. So I want to get that off. So that's one of my goals going into next year.
And the excuse that you've used up to this point?
Budgeting the procedures to do the cellulite thing. But the other thing would just be lazy, the exercising thing. So I've got to just get off my butt.
Okay, I have to say something now. You guys aren't lazy. You're here. It's a Saturday and you're working. I'm going to bust that myth right now. You're not lazy.
Okay.
Right? right? You're not. Would you consider yourself a lazy business person or a lazy mom
No.
or a lazy wife?
No. Well,
Okay.
I'm not a. No. I'm
Well,
not.
okay.
Okay.
But so in terms of a lazy, but right, you're here. Everyone's here. Are
Right.
you lazy? No. But we keep. That's like letting yourself off the hook right there. Oh, I'm just lazy, because then you can say everyone else is lazy, right? Because we can
Right.
all say that we're no. I want you to go a little deep. You don't have to right now.
No. I know there's stuff going on because I kind of do this kind of work, but see, I needed to, so clearing beliefs and stuff like that. So that's something that I've just been putting in the back, and dealing with other stuff. I'm thinking that, well, this is okay. I can deal with this later. So that's something I'm going to look at.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. I just had a feeling you weren't lazy, so I really couldn't let you keep that.
I feel lazy when I see that it's days have gone by. But yeah, there is something underneath it. There's a belief, something going on.
When people want something, and I'd have to, if you're all entrepreneurs, you go get it. Yeah. There's something about it you don't want, or there's something about the way you think you have to get it that you don't want. That's the difference, because I'm going to bust that myth for all of you. None of you are lazy. I don't know you. Some of you I know. None of you are lazy if you're here. So, okay. Oh. Did you want? Okay. I saw the hand went up. I didn't know if that was a.
I'm trying to talk her into walking by the beach. Okay, let's see. Mine's kind of 2 or 3-fold. One is I want to balance my hormones because I know they're totally out of whack. Hello. And as a result of that, I'm not losing weight. I exercise 5 times a week with my dog 3 times a day, and I don't lose weight, and I want to lose 20 pounds, and I want my darn legs back.
Good.
I'm pissed.
Okay. So maybe you just don't have the
very
tools yet.
driven. I love exercise. Love it. You
Good.
hear me? Love
Yes.
it.
Good. Yay.
And my body's not responding.
Okay. That I can fix. That I can help. Anyone else before we move on? Okay, because now we can get into the tools and the making the program. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank everyone for sharing, because it's good to put yourself in that position. Okay. So you know what your vision is. You now know what your excuses are, and you might not know what your real excuse is yet, right? There might be something in there that's a little deeper than we're going to go today that we would probably go next week. But know that it isn't just sometimes a chatter that you think is acceptable in your head, whatever that may be. So after you have the clear vision, you're going to make your plan. It's just a 3-step process. You got to know what you want. You got to make a plan to get it, and then you got to figure out what is next. And I'll tell you what's next in a minute. All right, so on the back of one of your pages, I want you to write this chart. Here's your key for success. It's called the FIT principle. This is it. It's nothing else. You don't need anything more. Okay? Forever and ever. Amen. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Now, you would make a FIT principle for cardiovascular work and for resistance training work. This is not and if you do yoga or Pilates or any kind of other, you'd have to make it separate. You'd have to decide which category it goes in, if it's cardio or resistance, and then that's where it would go. But you wouldn't just do one FIT principle for everything. So I will actually do 2 of them. So let me tell you what it stands for. And you can go ahead and write 2 as well. We'll make this one cardio, and we'll make this one resistance training. Because your main 2 exercise components are going to be cardiovascular work. What does cardiovascular work do? And don't refer to your 3rd page, since it's in there. Tell me what you think cardiovascular work does. Get your heart rate up to do what? Burns calories, I heard. What else? Increases your circulation. Yep, it can strengthen your heart. Think of cardiovascular as your short-term investment plan. So you don't burn any more calories if you don't move. Cardiovascular burns calories in the moment, and that's it. Maybe a little afterburn depending on how high you got your heart rate, but that's it. Your resistance training is going to be your long-term investment plan. Cardiovascular training does not increase your metabolism. It does not build muscle unless you're doing a spin class or you're mountain biking up a very steep hill. And then there's going to be some muscle building components. But generally speaking, your cardiovascular work does not build muscle. Okay, so let's go over what this stands for. Frequency. That's going to be how many times or sessions you're going to have in a week. So I don't want you to think days, because, for instance, on Thursday sometimes I'll go dancing. And let me tell you, that's cardio. And that's like 2 hours of cardio. And I may work out Thursdays with my friend and do a circuit training program that's both cardio and resistance. So I will have done 2 exercise sessions on a Thursday. Okay? So that's what I want you to think of this as: number of times you work out, not days of the week. I is going to stand for intensity. 2 forms of intensity to choose from. Both, I would recommend you use both. One is going to be the RPE scale, rate of perceived exertion. I'll put that here. RPE, rate of perceived exertion. I have to stress that, perceived, because there are some people that perceive something that's really, really hard because they've never experienced something a little harder. Okay, so it's what you perceive. So there's a little flaw there sometimes. Or not even a flaw, I should just say it's like it just depends, right? You have to look at the whole picture. So rate of perceived exertion and heart rate. So heart rate monitor. How many of you use a heart rate monitor? Sorry, there's nobody. You should have a heart rate monitor. Yes. I would not do cardio without it. Well, I would, because that would be an excuse, right? There's a couple times that I almost didn't do it because I thought, I don't have a heart rate monitor. But then I went, yeah, that's an excuse. Okay, let's not do that. All right. So frequency, intensity, time is the first T. And type is the last T. I'm going to grab my heart rate monitor to show you. Time and type, T-Y-P-E. All right, so let's do an example. I'll use me as an example this week, because it rained this week. I work out outside, so that threw me a little. So this week, I did 2, right? Yeah, I only did 2. I did 2 exercise sessions this week. It was supposed to be 3, but it rained. And I could have done something inside, but you'll see when we get to time, I made up for it. Intensity. Actually, let me do one down here. My intensity, on a scale of 1 to 10, my cardiovascular intensity was a 9, because I was thinking having some symptoms of adrenal fatigue this week, because I was working in Cancun 2 weeks ago for a week, and it was work. It was work. I slept less in Cancun than I do at home. And then I came back to do a workshop, the XXX, so that, and then before that were 2 mastermind days, so 5 days of masterminding and workshop, and then came right back out of Sunday, straight into Monday, to do all those things, right? How many of you have a to-do list that's 3 pages long after this last 2 days, right? Okay, same thing, except I had 5 days of all these to-dos that I had to do, and rather than taking a break and maybe, no, I went straight for it. So I've sort of been doing what I told you all not to do, because I'm the prime example as well, of that I have the energy to do. Why not get it done? Well, because maybe my body needs a break. So I sort of hit the wall myself. So I used my rain day to work, but it was very effective. I got that book deal. So I justified in my mind. So my RPE, I would have said, was an 8 to a 9, because I was tired, and I was pushing it. In terms of my heart rate, let's use Thursday. So just to give you an idea of what this looks like on a heart rate monitor, I worked out for 1 hour and 12 minutes. Now that was cardio and resistance training. I was in my target heart rate zone for 1 hour and 5 minutes. That would be what I call efficient. I'm looking at efficiency sometimes. My maximum heart rate was 189. My average heart rate was 170. And I burned 762 calories. So that's why I prefer to do 1 hour and 15, around 30 minutes twice a week versus 30 minutes 5 times a week, right? Because I'm going to get in there, I'm going to do it, and if I'm in it, I'm going to keep going. Because I want to get it, so that the other days I don't have to consider it. Okay, time. Well, obviously time, the first session was 1 hour and 12 minutes, and my second session was 2 hours. I biked yesterday. And then type, I did, for my cardio, I ran a little bit, I biked. Yeah, that was what my type was. So right now, I want you to write down on your graph what you are currently doing for your cardio. How many times average a week? And I'm going to, because if I'm doing this by week, I'm averaging 2 to 3. So how many times a week do you have sessions of cardio? On a scale of 1 to 10, those of you that don't have a heart rate monitor, you're going to have to go RP. How hard is it? So scale of 1 to 10, how hard? 50% is a 5, right? It's like if you're walking, you don't sweat, you can have a full-on conversation, you can talk on your cell phone, it's a 5. Okay? So go ahead and judge that. Time, how much time did you spend this week or last week or this month, average, and what types did you do? Yeah, time doing the exercise. No. No. Time meaning, for me, I would have put 1 hour to 2 hours for this week. On average, that is my on average. It's 1 hour to 2 hours. But it could be 20, it could be 15 to 30 minutes. Okay? Don't use me as your gauge here in terms of, right? I'm just showing you as an example, me. But I understand that's not going to be everybody. So don't feel badly putting down 20 minutes. That's great. If you're at 0 right now, 20 minutes is great. Total time of each session. So you're doing a general plan. This is what I do right now. You're looking at it. This is what I do. For the last 4 weeks, every week I do about 2 to 3 sessions a week of cardio. I am working at about a 6. I only do 15 to 20 minutes, and I walk. That would be, right? So you'd be doing, okay. Okay, then jump down to the resistance and do the same thing. What is resistance training? Right now, if you do anything that's not, anything that has to do with weights or tubing, if you do some kind of water aerobics or something, that's okay for now. It depends on the instructor and how much real resistance you're doing. But that would be resistance. Things to work your muscles that aren't necessarily repetitive motions for long periods of time. Stairs. No. All right, Linda. All right, Linda, you win. Put down the stairs for resistance training. Yeah, okay, go ahead. It's going to count as both. Okay, perfect question for the segue of everyone up on your feet. Let's do some. Up on your feet. If you have heels, you may want to take them off and be in your bare feet. I'm going to just because it's easier. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is called a tree. How many of you know what a tree is? If you've taken yoga, it's standing on one foot. So let me demonstrate. Let me go up here so just to make sure you can see me. This is probably better. See, Kathy, I'm using this now. This works perfectly for me. It wasn't for not. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to have your feet hip-width apart to start. You're going to pick which leg you're going to stand on. I'm going to stand on my left. I'm going to transfer my body weight over to my left side. I'm going to gently pick up my right foot, and I'm going to stick it on my ankle. Good. And hold it. Some other cues I'll give you if you're having any difficulty. You want to pull your abs in by taking your belly button, like a needle and thread, through your spine. You're pulling it straight in. There should be no lifting of the rib cage. There should be no bending over. There shouldn't be any of this. No. You can lift your rib cage, but that has nothing to do with, right now, contracting your abs. Make sure your shoulders are back, chest is up. Good. Eyes should be either horizon or a little bit higher. Don't close your eyes, don't look down. If you look down, your eyes are going to direct all of your body weight forward. That will make it harder to balance. Good. You should definitely keep breathing. Now, what you might be feeling is your feet, your ankles, your calf muscle, maybe your hip, maybe your quad, maybe nothing. Maybe you're just feeling like this is really easy because you do this on a regular basis. How many, without raising your hand, say aye if you think this is kind of hard? And it's because you don't do it. That's the only reason. Balance is something you just don't keep if you don't practice. Okay, switch sides. I just want to keep you balanced. Now, this would be considered resistance training. It's not necessarily hard resistance training, but it would be a warm-up that I would give you to start dealing with legs. So for everyone who talked about the knees, and we'll talk and work, I'm all about efficiency. For people that say they don't have time to work out, think to yourself, do you watch TV? Do you listen to teleseminars after they're over, meaning like the MP3 version? If you do, there's 2 opportunities to be on your floor doing exercises while you're listening or watching TV. You don't have to go to the gym. You can. I'm not against it. I'm just the person that knows that I don't want to go. So I'm going to do it at home because there's no difference between the gym and my house except that they have lots of other metals that redirect the forces of gravity, which I know how to do. I don't need those machines. Okay. So anyone, is this painful for anyone? You know why that is? Well, part of it is we all have a stronger side, but the other part of it's going to be the imbalance in your hips. Because if you cross your legs, you stand on one side, we all have an imbalance. So yes, the chiropractor can help that, but if you don't change the habits of crossing your legs and standing on one leg and sleeping with one leg over the other, sometimes that's not going to change your pelvis. Okay, now back to the other side. That was called a tree. We're going to do a standing hip flexion next. Standing hip flexion is we're going to have your body weight on your left side. You're going to point your toe of your right leg, keeping the knee facing the ceiling. Now, all my body weight is back here. I'm going to have my abs in the same posture, shoulders back, chest up. And I'm going to think about drawing my quadricep, that's this top muscle. I'm going to think of shortening like an accordion from my knee up into my hip. So I'm going to think about not kicking from the back, not my butt. I'm using my quad. So I'm pulling from here, and I'm lifting my leg, only as high as you can go without bending. Come up, bring it up, and then slowly lower it down, but don't touch the ground. Good. Bring it up, exhale, inhale and lower it. Good, we're going to keep going. So we're going to be doing a couple of these. Yes, and then back down. Good. All knees should be locked. There's no bending. So for anyone with knee problems, this is a good exercise because there's no bending of the knees. We're not putting any undue stress on the knees if your body weight is centered on your left leg and in all good 3 points of your foot. So my heel on my left leg is supporting me. So you shouldn't be on your toe. You shouldn't be on your heel. You should be right in the center of that foot. Okay, now, what you might be feeling. You might be feeling your standing hip, depending on how strong or weak your hips are. And if you do anything to strengthen your hips. You might be feeling this top quad. We're still going, right? So don't think you're hiding behind a chair. Keep lifting the leg. Okay. Hold this. Stop. Abs in. Just hold it. Anyone think this is kind of hard? Anyone feel muscles working? Okay, switch sides. This is resistance training, folks. It doesn't have to be any harder than this. Okay, switching sides just because we have to do it for balance. Okay, lifting and lowering. We have to do the other side. Can't leave you unbalanced. Okay, now we're lifting the left leg. Good, and then putting it down, but don't rest it. You're drawing up. You're really thinking. How many of you have done something like this before, but now that are you thinking about it any differently? Can you actually, if you could activate with your brain this top muscle, because I can kick and it'd be a whole different experience muscularly. I can do a lot faster with momentum, go up and down, and I'm not using this muscle. I'm using my glutes and my hip flexors. Your brain controls everything. So if you don't think about it, the muscles that are good already will do the work. Okay, so then you won't build any extra muscles because the ones that are good are going to do it. You have to think about what you're doing in order to activate it and turn it on. We're going to do 2 more. I know some of you wearing skirts and dresses. You're like, I'm not lifting my leg any higher. Okay, hold. That's fine. So this would be a beginning exercise for a lot of people to build strength in your quads, to build strength in your hip, to build strength in your ankles, to build strength in your calves, to be good with proprioception and balance. Keep holding. Okay, put it down. Okay, you can have a seat. Anyone get just a little sweaty or everyone feel a little bit of muscular stuff? Okay, that's as simple as it needs to be. You're just adding resistance to a muscle until it fatigues, and then it gets stronger. That's how it works. Okay, thank you, Marla, for that question. Yes? Where does yoga fit in? That's a great question. Where does yoga fit in? There's lots of different kinds of yogas. Some yogas will be resistance training, and some will not. So that's all I can say. Is yoga considered? Yes, yoga is considered exercise, but I would not say that yoga nor Pilates would be good exercises for losing weight. They'd be good exercises to start building strength. They'd be additional exercises to add into a program to prepare you for more work. They're great at building a foundation, but they're not weight loss driven. Can you? Yes. I'm not a fan of Bikram. Don't tell me if you do it. Because the heat can hurt you. It's a passive way of a passive way of relaxing your muscles, and then, so I'm not a fan. Will you lose weight in that? Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of water because you're dehydrated. But you'll gain it back once you drink water again. And yes, you can do things that are harder and bend in all different new ways that you're not supposed to because you can't do it outside of the heat. But yoga and Pilates have their places if that's the only place you're going to go start to exercise. But if you tell me that you take 3 or 4 yoga classes a week and you spend 4 hours a week in yoga and you're not losing weight, I won't be surprised. So just know that it depends on the type. It's the efficiency of what you're doing. It might build a little bit of muscle. It might burn some calories, but it's not good at doing either one of them very well because it's not designed for that. It wasn't designed for that, but it is exercise. It might keep you more limber. It might, because you're doing positions that you don't normally do, so you feel more flexible. You're going to get a great cross-training for if you do resistance training or if you do running or if you do something like a lot. It's a great cross-training just to keep your body in, doing different exercises. It's like rotating the wheels on your car. If you didn't rotate the wheels on your car, you all know what would happen. Well, the same thing with your joints. I talked about that joint integrity, right? If you do the same thing all the time and you never change up the way that you add force to your body, then you're going to be wearing down your cartilage. So it's good to have different kinds of programs to do. But you have to look at what does it offer me? What does yoga offer me? What does Pilates offer me? What does gyrotonics offer me? What does swimming offer me? And then you know what to expect from it. You can't just do exercise. You can't just walk and think that's going to do it all. Because when your program starts, so wherever you're going to start, because now what I want you to do is I want you to make another line underneath this, and I want you now to commit to something a little different. I'm not going to tell you how it needs to be different. You're going to decide that based on what you said was important to you. For me, I'm not going to change anything because I'm happy with the way it is. I'm leaving it. I'm good. But if I wanted more, what would I change? I would add an extra resistance training at home. So I'd make it so it end up being 3 because I actually do 2 a week. So if I wanted changes, I would add an extra frequency. That's what I would do. Because I already work hard. I don't need to work any harder. Time, I got to give enough time. I don't need to do any more time. And the type is fine. So for you, what's going to be your next little step? If you're already doing the amount of time you can do, then this isn't what changes for you. You keep this. This is your constant. Look at what else you can change. Are you working at a 6? Can you just change the intensity? Can you up it a little bit from where you are to maybe a 7 or an 8? Are you doing 15 or 20 minutes? Can you add 5 more minutes? So these are the things. So I want you to make an adjustment on which one of these things you're going to change and adjust if you need to. And if it's adding 1 time a week, doing 10 minutes, that's fine. If you're blank, if there's nothing on either one of these, then figure out what's the one thing I could do. What is the lowest hanging fruit for me? Can I take a walk with a friend? Can I listen to an audio tape-recorded program of something that I missed and sit on a bike? Can I walk up and down my stairs for 10 minutes? Can I do 100 jumping jacks? My grandmother, who's 82, still does 100 jumping jacks every day. Okay, so just whatever. Pick something that you can do. I know, once I said, really, Grandma, 100? And then I did them just to see what 100 felt like, and my calves were burning. I was like, wow, okay. But that's all she does. So adjust it on here, and then I want you only to fill out the 30 days. So on here, write one thing in 30 days that you know you can commit to today. What is the easiest thing? Now, if you're already disciplined, you're already working out, and you want the next level, what's the next level for you? Is it intensity? Is it time? Is it adding resistance training? Is it getting a heart rate monitor? One thing, that's all I want you to write. What are you willing to commit to in 30 days? Okay, and the last step for building any program at any time of your life, because how many of you can see that this is going to change as your life changes? Okay, you go from having a full-time job to not working. You go from being a parent and then your kids leave your house and now all of a sudden they're gone, empty nest. Or something, something happens. You take off some time. Then you get to change your program. So use these 3 steps. Use the FIT principle. You're traveling. What can I do while I'm traveling? There's many things you can do while you're traveling. All the programs that we do teach you how to work out at your home. In fact, transfers to the office. That transfers to a hotel room. I don't even use the hotel gyms. I do it in my hotel room because I don't even want to go down to the gym. So talk about lazy. We can consider me lazy because I don't even want to go down to the hotel gym. I don't like the little, half of them don't have any windows. And you feel like you're in a box. I can't stand that. I'd rather do it outside. Yeah, it's like, oh, I just don't, it doesn't feel good to me, so I'd rather go outside. Okay, have tools and support. So what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What do you think I mean? Accountability. Accountability, absolutely. Coach, yes. Trainer, yes. Bands, yes. Tools. I take mine with me. So quick little story, I was in Greece in 2004, 2-week trip, and I was on a boat, like a boat, not a ship, it's a boat. And so the room was really little, and I took my, doesn't even weigh 5 pounds, it's probably 2 pounds. It's a little black bag that has 3 pieces of tubing and a doorstop in it. And every morning, I had my heart rate monitor, and every morning I got up at 6:30 and I ran on this ship back and forth. And the Greeks were like, who's this crazy American? And because it wasn't a very big boat, there wasn't a lot of people on it. And then there were some little steps up to like the next deck, and I would do what's called a tap back. I was doing these exercises, and I do some jumping jacks. And I would time myself, and I only did 30 minutes because I was dedicated to do it every day. And I drank all the wine I wanted. I had dessert every night. I had cheese every day, 3 times a day, and I lost 1 pound. So, and I took my bands, and I did my exercises in my little tin can room. So, and it just, I didn't need the gym. I just made it up because I was dedicated to doing it. Because if I'm off and not taking care of anyone else for 2 weeks, I better be taking care of myself at least a little bit every day. So, yes. The doorstop is to anchor in the tubing. If you just take a piece of tubing with the handles, you got to step on it, or you have to anchor it somewhere to do another exercise. The doorstop allows you to place it in the door at whatever level you need it to be at, so that you don't have to step on it or rug it, have it around a tree and do some upper body exercises. And it snapped on you. You need a doorstop. Doorstop. Yeah. Because then you don't want to be afraid of your, yeah, it's bad. So heart rate monitor, some kind of tubing that travels with you, having a ball, a yoga mat, obviously a program, a plan. What other tools else you would need? Question? Sorry, that's a good cue. That's another good cue. How good are videos? It depends on the video. I mean, how many videos are out there? A gazillion? Right, a gazillion. And so I've done some. I have one. That's why I was like, I'll just show you mine and why it's different. And I'm not selling these today, so I don't have any, so don't ask me, please. You can see it if you want. You can put it in the computer if you want to see what's on it. But this is a video library of exercises. So I teach you 25 exercises you can do at home or while you travel with a small little tubing or a ball or whatever. Because then it's just teaching you the how to do it, so that way then you can figure out how much. Because part of it's just the form of it, right, to make sure you're doing it properly. I mean, how many of you would thought lifting your leg would be hard? Probably not many, but you do it enough and you go, wow, this actually is a hard exercise, and it actually will build some muscle, and it actually could be effective, and I can really do that anywhere. Yes? So some videos are going, because they're the, step touch, okay, and you're doing the exercise, and they'll have you go through the thing, and some of it may be hard for you, and some of it may be really easy for you. And how much do you find that when you're doing it, half of it's talking? So there's all this downtime. So you've done this 30-minute workout on this DVD, and 15 minutes of it was them explaining the exercises to you, and you're not doing anything. So did you really work out for 30 minutes? You didn't. So am I saying they don't work? No. I'm just saying that if use them, but find the sections of them that work for you and that you know are going to be hard, okay, and that they're effective. And then sort of make a plan about how you're going to use them and what they're good for. If you have some kind of DVD that is a resistance training and you find this one section is really good for upper body, then do that one section. But then don't do the rest of it if you think it's a waste of time. So definitely use the tools you already have, definitely. But they're not all going to satisfy everything. I see 2 questions. Yes.
I know what I do. I just put, I speed through all the talking because I already know what the exercise is going to be. I'm sorry. So I just speed through the talking because I don't like it. It makes me crazy.
Right, because you already know it.
Yeah.
You just need
So
to watch
I
it
just
once or
speed
twice.
through it, and then I just, do the exercise.
Great.
And I get through I get through it quicker.
Good. Okay. Great. Thank you. One more question, then I have to wrap it up. And I'll stay if anyone has any other questions.
I'd love to know what are some of the best exercises you'd recommend to do with your kids, because when I take my 4-year-old on a walk, we end up looking at bugs and picking up leaves, so it doesn't really work too good. So any good ideas?
Well, you could do it on a hike, and at least you're going uphill, and then when you stop for bugs and stuff, it's a lot harder, right? And if it takes a lot longer, then you extend the hard portion of that hike, right? Because a hike's only really going to be hard one way. The other way, it's downhill, so gravity goes with you, so it doesn't really get it as hard, right? Biking is another way to kind of blow past all that. You know, the bikes with the several little seats in it might be another good thing to do with kids. Let me think a little bit more on that, and I'll get back to you. So in the back page of this document, because I have to wrap it up, the back page, there's 2 things, a gift for you guys, 2 gifts. One is we're having our next free call about the 6-week Beachbody program. It's named the 7 things you must do to lose weight quickly, healthfully, and easily, and keep it off. And that is next Thursday, the 22nd at 5:30, and you can sign up on 6weekbeachbody.com. It's a free call. You're welcome to join it. We will tape it. We will send it out if you can't make the call. So if you're interested in hearing the 7 things, because we do list all 7 things that you must do to lose weight quickly, easily, healthfully, and keep it off. Because again, remember we talked about that programming, the mind. And the second thing is on my Invisible Fitness site, I have my 30-day Jumpstart program, which you're welcome to download for free. It's a workbook. It's a 30-day workbook and an audio with 6 tracks on it. Talks about food, talks about the exercise portion, and that's free. It's valued at $197, and that's invisiblefitness.com, and you're welcome to do that. I will stay if anyone has any questions. I thank you guys, and look forward to hearing about all the new updates you have on your FIT principle and how it's all working for you. I live here in Los Angeles. I'm out of Long Beach. We offer personal training for people that live close by. We offer phone coaching and Skype coaching. I've got a few clients all around that I Skype with. I actually train someone on Skype in Arizona, one of my physician clients. And so phone, Skype, in person, and then, of course, on the phone.
I do have one question.
Oh.
You talked about adrenals. You had symptoms of adrenal fatigue.
Yes.
What are those symptoms?
Symptoms of adrenal fatigue would be that, well, for me, part of it was heart rate. This is another good reason to have this. I got back from my wedding, and I was perfectly healthy. I didn't do anything crazy, except that I lived at this stress level, like that was up here, right? Those of you can relate. And I was walking after my wedding. I got back, so we're back from the honeymoon, and we're back, and it's like, I'm walking, and I'm in my target heart rate zone, walking. Now, did I somehow magically lose all my fitness level in the last 2? I worked out on my honeymoon. We went hiking. We did things. And I worked out up until I worked the day of my wedding. But I'm looking at my heart rate, and it's up there. So when you feel like everything is really, really hard, if you're working out really, really hard and not losing any weight, like you're working really hard and you're not losing any weight. It could be diet, but also could be hormonal. It could be that you have your cortisol levels are really low and your DHEA levels are very, very low. I can help you more, and I can direct you where to go to get things tested, to understand a little bit more about your hormones, because they absolutely make a huge difference in whether or not you're going to get results or not. Adrenals are the #1 place you got to look. You have to look at your DHEA. You have to look at your cortisol levels, because those feed everything else. Your DHEA feeds your thyroid. So if any of you are having any thyroid issues, or please go get your adrenals checked, because too many people are popping meds for thyroids and having them not work, Oprah, because nobody's checking the DHEA. DHEA is going to feed the thyroid. The thyroid feeds your sex hormones. It all is connected. And if you're just looking at one of them, you're not getting the whole picture. And then you're popping meds for no reason. You're going to be unhappy that they're not going to work for you. All right? So, but like I said, I'll stay in case you have questions about that. I didn't really want to get in that because it's a whole other day, right?
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Like, am I suffering?
Well, you might be. You might be. It's a great question. So thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you so much, JJ.
You're
Great.
welcome. She being a last minute.
Yeah. 24 hours ago, she committed to this. So thank you. A great presentation, very short time. Okay, well, I think let's go ahead and pull a few more of these because I know one of these people is. Okay, so I have, nice. Kathy Lasala, who's here, getting ready to leave, Personally Yours for Research. She was here with Joy, and she's given 3 hours of research. And the winner for that is 621705. All right. There you go. Congrats. And then Desiree, now remind me, is it a membership? Okay, she donated a 1-year membership to an empowered woman, and the number is 621698. 621698. Yeah. All right. Okay, and I'll do the last few at the very end. So here we are at the end. We have about a half an hour left. What I'd like to do is I was supposed to do my Mojo Moms thing. So I thought I would just go ahead and kind of do that, but kind of do an abbreviated version, because I'd also like to bring our speakers back up and see if there's any last minute questions, and if there's any aha moments, I'd like everybody to be able to share that too. So the Mompreneurs Rock with Mojo, that is actually a brand new book that I have just finished writing and is going to print actually this week. I wasn't able to get it back in time for today. But I'm wondering, well, at the end of this whole weekend, who feels like they're rocking? They're rocking with Mojo, they're ready to move on, they're ready for the next step. Well, my definition, and I know some of you are questioning, what is Mojo? Well, the real definition of mojo, if you look it up in the dictionary, is a magic spell or personal magnetism. But that's not really what I view as mojo. To me, mojo is living in my passion. It's being bold and loud and courageous and passionate and all of those things. So I'd just like to take a minute and see if anybody else would like to share with us what mojo means to them. And if not, I have some excerpts from my book, and you're here, so... Anybody want to share? Oh, you're actually one of the ones from the book I want to share. That's all right. It can be different.
I think as an artist and a designer, that's really, what I stem from. My mojo is what I call when I'm in the zone. I mean, nobody can really even break that zone. I work from home, and I have worked from home for a long time, and my family understands my mojo or my zone, and it's sort of like I got my tunes on and I'm working in color and I'm working with words, and it's just my zone. Or I've been in that zone too when I'm painting, and it's sort of like it's a place where you are just you and no one's going to be in there, and that is like one of my favorite states to be in. And it's harder and harder to get into that zone as you get busier and busier, but I honor that myself, because I know I'm dead without that zone. So,
mojo definitely ebbs and flows. Anybody else?
Well, Marla and I said it. Our dogs are named Mojo. But I think it's like when that movie when Stella got her groove back. It's kind of like when I got my mojo on, everything just works and everything happens, and it comes to you because you're being that. So you're like this. It is magnetism. And animal magnetism in the best way, where you're strong and empowered. So I'm always like, my mojo is working, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, I think I have to share just a couple then from the book. Alana, who's not here again today, but hers was, Alana Pratt, was divine sensuality radiating from within. I thought that was great. And Joy's is in here too. But I'm not putting my finger on it right this minute. Oh, there it is. Being energetic and authentic about who you are. So mojo is something that I feel that I'm rocking with for right now, for sure. And I mentioned mojo definitely ebbs and flows, and we all feel that. But what I'd like to do is back up a little bit and tell you kind of how I got to this point and why I feel my mojo is rocking now. I actually started my first company in 1995. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I launched a new company called What's Up for Kids. And it was founded basically based on a need of There was no publication in the area that I lived in that had things for kids to do. There were story times or whatever. There was LA Parent, there was other different things, but nothing that was really local to my community. So I launched this magazine with like one advertiser and 4 little pages and 1,000 copies, and basically gave it to my friends. Well, that magazine now is 32 pages, full color glossy magazine, and we print 20,000. And it is just in the South Bay, but it's grown substantially. It is a 6-figure business. And during that time, well, I raised the 2 kids. I had the third. Christopher used to be over my lap as I was collating the newsletter, actually, when I first started. So the kids have kind of been in it all along. It's grown not only with the actual print magazine, but also I now produce between 4 and 6 family expos each year from, well, we've gone as far south as San Diego up to Ventura County. So it was something that was a lot of fun. I could do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I kind of didn't really grow that business a whole heck of a lot until the kids got a little older, and now actually they help me run it as far as the expos. They're checking in everybody, and it works out really well. But about a year ago, actually summer of 2008, I was kind of tired of it. I've been doing it for so long. It had gotten, things were going really well, but I wanted something a little different. I was feeling a little bored. You know how that entrepreneurial spirit gets to us. The serial entrepreneurs I hear about. Well, that's kind of, I was wanting to take on something a little bit new. So I was heading to Palm Springs. Kim will remember this because she was with me. We went to Palm Springs, which is an annual trip we do. The 2 of us take all of our kids for a week. And that summer, I took a book with me called Distinctively Diva, Every Woman's Guide to Outrageous Living. And it's a great book. It's a great book. It's written by 4 women. And it's broken up into 52 chapters. And each chapter is supposed to be a week. Some of the chapters were, chapter 4 was Acknowledge Your Goddess Within. Chapter 7 is all about passion. Chapter 8 is about freedom. But I chose to read those 52 chapters in 52 weeks in the 5 days that we were there. But it was one of those things where I was looking for the information. I just needed to be able to open up my mind, open up my senses. It was just a whole, how when you're in the right mindset to be able to take something in like that. And it did. It changed my mindset, and it opened up my universe to be open to things such as this. So I came home from Palm Springs. Maybe a month later, I met Marla Dennis. And as I mentioned earlier, that I had met her at a networking group and got to know her with helping to do the e-zine and the blogs. And then she asked me if I wanted to join her mastermind group. And I said, what's a mastermind group? I have no idea what a mastermind group is. Okay, sure, what the heck. So I jumped into the mastermind group, and she started, we talked about the book, Think and Grow Rich, and The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, both of which books I had never heard of. I had the 3 kids. I really wasn't paying much attention. But between those 2 books and the mastermind group, she helped me to, one of the first chapters in Jack's book is all about finding your purpose and your passion. And through some questions that were asked during that, I realized that what I really wanted to do was I connected parents with resources available to them, and I wanted to be able to connect mompreneurs with resources to connect with them. And through kind of a process, the National Association of Entrepreneur Moms was born. And as I also mentioned when David was speaking yesterday, I had been listening to one of his 4 calls. And actually, those 4 calls, by the way, are on his site. It's The Art of Success, and they're free. You can go to his site and download them. But it was call number 2 or 3 on there that just had really spoken to me because I was thinking about doing it, wasn't really sure if it was right. I'd gone to check the website address, and it wasn't available. As I mentioned, it was going to be kind of a hefty investment to do what I wanted to do. But I listened to his call and decided it was time to step up and take action and just move forward and go ahead and do that. Came home from my walk, purchased the program, went to GoDaddy.com, and lo and behold, the website was now available. I don't know how that happened, but the website was available. So it all just kind of, even though it was scary to step into it, it all started unfolding a step at a time, which was very exciting for me. And as many of my friends will comment, enjoy, and I'm not somebody who moves slowly. So once I make a decision, yeah, it's moving forward. Anyway, during this process, I felt that I was pretty much on my mojo and that things were going really well. I'm really excited, other than losing some weight and getting healthy. You know, my mojo's intact and I'm feeling like I'm, really doing well. So, but I started thinking about other women who were probably going through the same type of thing and how mojo ebbs and flows. So I did a survey of whether moms rock with mojo. How do you rock with mojo? What's your definition of mojo? What's your best mojo moment? All of those kind of things that have actually been worked into the book. But there were some definite things, I'm gonna take this bracelet off, definite things that showed up with all the answers for the survey. And the 4 things that really shone through were, when somebody felt they were lacking mojo, was a lack of passion in their personal life, business life, and who they were serving. A lack of integration caused from overwhelm and being everything to everyone, which I think we've gone on to. A lack of energy from no sleep, no exercise, unhealthy eating habits. And the last one was a lack of health, and a lot of the comments were from stress and symptoms associated with that, but also to more serious health issues that just can't be avoided. But those were the 5 things that really shone through in everybody's answers. That was kind of what was an obvious trend. So what I did is I put those into the 5 keys. So the book is Mompreneurs Rock with Mojo, 5 Keys to Finding and Keeping Yours. And the 5 keys are discovering your passion, which we worked out with Joy, exit overwhelm and finding harmony, honoring your mind-body connection, leveraging your life, and casting a mojo spell on yourself. So I'll go through these rather quickly just because we're getting short on time. But the first one, discover your passion. And I know Joy has gone into this, and we've talked a lot about that this weekend. But there were 4 questions that actually were posed in my mastermind group that kind of helped me determine where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And those questions were, what are your natural gifts? What are your skills or talents? How can you leverage your life? Oh, you know what? That's the wrong page. I lost it. Oh, well. But it was all about finding out what was really the core thing for you and what you felt passionate about, what you wanted to do, how you could serve people. And through that process, I was able to determine, again, that I wanted to serve women. I wanted to serve not just women, but I wanted to serve mompreneurs because that's who I related to. Not just mompreneurs, but mompreneurs with school-age kids. So it just kind of whittled it down to what I really wanted to do. Number 2, exit overwhelm and finding harmony. And that's all about balance and integration. And I know JJ talked about balance, and I know we've talked about it earlier this weekend too. But balance and integration, and I know we use it together. And in fact, I was on a call with Desiree last week, and she said, balance? Do we really think we can find balance? And I said, 50-50 balance? No. Anybody else feel that they can get a 50-50 balance? No. As a mompreneur, balance is to me, balance is really where I'm going to feel comfortable, where I'm going to feel happy. So right now, in the middle of all this and everything that's been going on in October, the balance has got to be 30 kids, 70 business, but that's okay. They get that, I get that. But there's other times of the year where the balance is okay with me if it's the other side, and I'm really not working on my business, and I'm taking that time off and spending time with them. So finding that integration for you, the balance for you, not the definition in the dictionary of balance, but your balance, I think is key. Setting boundaries is another big one. And when I first launched What's Up for Kids, I really didn't set my boundaries. I really didn't tell anybody I had a business. I didn't want people to think I was a working mom. So people would ask things of me, and I would say yes, because, oh, sure, I can fit it in. But now I have very distinct boundaries. People know that I work. They know I have a business. Basically, when the kids go to school, from 9 until 3, you can pretty much find me at my desk. And yes, there's those days that I want to go on the field trip or do something with my kids in school, and I do take advantage of that. But I've set the boundaries more so that people know that I am working and that I do have a business to run, and that I will get them in there too, because that's part of the important things. The other thing is saying yes and no to things. And anybody who knows me would get a good laugh out of that, because I am known as the no-challenged mom. I am very no-challenged. I have a hard time saying no. I've always had a hard time saying no. Yeah, sure, no problem, I'll do it. And then I'm pulling my hair out. So I've tried to get better with that, and my girlfriends in the back are laughing, I'm sure. But I am trying to get better with that and determine whether it's something that's more of a commitment or an obligation. And a commitment is really more of the things that I feel passionate about, that make me feel good, that I enjoy doing, and the obligations that I'm really doing for someone else and not me. And yes, we all have the obligations at times, but I'm really trying to focus more on the commitments. And that was no more apparent than when I did a recent event for a local community group, and my heart was just not into it. And they kept asking and do this and do that, and I was completely exhausted and totally overwrought, and my passion was not there on the subject. But then when I did a different event 2 weeks ago, actually, for breast cancer awareness, now that is something I feel passionate about. That is something that I want women to know about. That is something that you need to go get checked, and I was willing to put all my effort and energy into that and focus on that. So I've tried very hard to do more of that. Key number 3, honor your mind-body connection, and I think JJ spoke a lot on that today. There's a proven connection, obviously, between your mind, state of mind, and the health of your body, and we all know that. That's nothing new. I do talk in the book about, just your moods, waking up, and, when you ram your leg into the foot of the bed, and then that just starts your day off. You know how that goes, right? Starts your day off in a downward spiral, and then you get in the car, and it's empty of gas, and then you're just, freaking out, and things just continue to get worse and worse and worse. So I do try to start things on a good note, the good mood, a positive attitude, I think is huge. Stress, dealing with stress hormones that you talked about in the adrenal, that's huge, and spending some time, getting the exercise, taking care of your mind, body, and spirit, and being able to put that together. So thank you, JJ, for being here. Key number 4 was leverage your life. And my feeling on that was, as we hear a lot about leverage from all the experts, leverage, and then hire VAs, and hire this, and hire that. Well, why are we not taking that one step further and leveraging our life at home? We do it all, we be it all, we see it all. We're everything to everyone. So then we end up suffering what I call supermom fatigue, where we're just exhausted and start to resent, really, the fact that we're having to be everything to everyone. And so I highly suggest, if at all possible, being able to delegate some of those things. Hire a team for home, whether it's somebody to help you come in and clean the house, whether it's ordering your groceries online, whether it's maybe a bookkeeper to help with with your personal bills or that kind of thing, something to help delegate things at home, leveraging up to things like that. The automate, delegate, delete rule. Again, that can be worked for home. Automate, set it up so that, I know there's the send out cards, so you can set that up so cards are automatically going out, or that you're ordering things online. Delegating things, hiring people to help you out, whether it's a personal errand service, BB, picking up the dry cleaning and whatever other types of things we can help with. Delete. Okay, who has a stack of magazines next to their bed that is not read? I know we all do. And yes, we don't want to cancel those subscriptions because we will get to them, but it's just one more thing for me, it's staring me in the face, and I'll get to that when I get to it. The key number 5 was casting a mojo spell on yourself, and that was, to me, if you had a magic wand, what spell would you cast on yourself? What would you give yourself? Would you focus on you? I think you need to focus on you. Would you invest in yourself? Well, obviously you are investing in yourself because you're here. You're here for growth and education. Time for peaceful solitude. We all need that. We all need some time away. And that was originally one of my visions for this event, was that people would actually kind of spend some time here at the hotel, spend some time outside on the breakwater or taking a walk along the beach. So there is some of that peaceful solitude. One of the biggest things for me is spending time with my girlfriends. And my girlfriends mean everything to me. They're here helping me today, and they help me at all the events. But I think spending time with our friends, especially that girlfriend bond, is huge. Huge support for all of us. So now it's time for you to go home and rock with your mojo. And I hope that everybody has learned something here the last 2 days, feels that they've been filled up, that they've got all kinds of information, inspiration, information, and tools to just put it all together and be able to launch forward into your next event or activity or even 2010. So I just want to leave you with, be open to the opportunity before you, be grateful for all that you are given, and be present and in the moment, for that moment will be gone too soon. Thank you very much. You guys have been way too nice to me all weekend. It has been one hell of a party, hasn't it? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, just a couple of the things I wanted to do before we break up, and then I'll let you all get on the freeway and get home. The book, or then again, you can stay here and take a walk along the breakwater. Some peaceful solitude with your girlfriend, nonetheless. Just a couple of things. First of all, the book, I apologize. I'd hoped to have the book here for everybody today, and that was just a brief introduction with it. And I didn't have a PowerPoint because I've been too busy working on this event, and you know how that goes. So if you're interested in the book, it will be available and be shipping middle of November. It's $9.95. The girls in the back can take your order if you're interested in that. As I mentioned, we are making some changes to NAOM, which I'm very excited about. We've added some new experts to our panel. So those of our experts who are here, I would just like to reintroduce you and let you know who the new ones are. We have Joy Chudikoff, who is our life and business coach. Joy? Hello, Joy. She doesn't hear us. Life and business coach, Joy. Yep. Marla Dennis, our online marketing success coach. Deanne Flores-Chase, our legal coach. Heather Nelson, our online strategist. Debbie Cannon, our organizing coach. And I have 3 new experts to announce with one pending. JJ Flazanes, our health and wellness coach, or health and nutrition coach. Katrina Sawa, she is jumpstartyourmarketing.com. In fact, there's a flyer for her event that's coming up in November is on the table, and she is going to be one of our new experts. And then Alana Pratt, Sexy Mom Expert, is our other expert, new one. So, and one more we hope to announce soon. The other thing is we're making a slight change to the membership. We're offering now 2 levels of membership into the association. Some of you are already members. Some of it was included in your registration for this. But there's 2 levels. There's the basic membership, which is basically what we've already been offering. So there's an expert class once a month, and we're going to start mailing a CD. That's something new. There's a guest call once a month. There's our Mom Factor. You get an Alley Magazine subscription. There's all kinds of downloads from our experts on the site that you can also access. The membership is going up to $187 for the year or $17 a month. But if you're not already a member and you want to subscribe, it's just $97 here at this event. And then the second level is all about the Mojo. It's going to incorporate the Mojo Mom Mastermind. And that is going to be 2 calls a month. The first call is going to be with an expert in one of the very hot topics that mompreneurs are dealing with. There'll be about 30 minutes of kind of a lecture or interview style, and then there'll be a 30-minute Q&A with that expert. And then there'll be a second call about a week and a half later that will be that group of, we're going to limit it to 30 women, who will actually get to know each other. There'll be a separate online social network type group, so everybody can get to know each other, and then we can really help each other with problems, issues, challenges, and really solve some of those issues with each other. So it's kind of, I'm trying to take the whole approach as if it was a live group, so that you really get to know each other and it's not too big. But that'll be added, that is being added, and again, that's the Mojo Moms Mastermind Group. And that, if you book that here, it's $247 for the year. Otherwise, you can do it online after the 1st of November, and it's $397 a year or $37 a month. So those flyers were in your bag. Oh, there's a few extras in the bag, in the back, but they were also in the bag. So, okay, so we have just a couple more things to pull. 621710. All right, Mary Jill. Actually, I'll pull the other two, and then you guys, I'll just leave them up here to come get. 621703. All right. And the very last one, 621695. 695. Going once. Going twice. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for being here. I hope you all have a very safe trip home. And we'll see you online. Oh, there is a Facebook group that's been set up for everybody here. Oh, and don't forget, this evaluation form. Hello. The evaluation forms are on the table. If you fill those out and put those in the back. And I will be in contact when I hear from Therese as far as when we're going to schedule her call for the Making It Stick. I will let you all know, and we'll get you on the call or get you the MP3. So thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, guys. Thanks.